Webster defines a journey as traveling from one place to another. But in Journey to the Overland, you'll do a lot more than just travel. From the moment your character leaves his hometown, you'll begin to experience the encounters and adventures that could only take place in Journey to the Overland. Whether you're new to fantasy gaming or an old role-playing veteran, you'll feel right at home, yet uncomfortably new to the world of Overland. Far more than a board game, but not quite role-playing, Journey to the Overland combines the best elements of each. Set in a world where sorcery, magic, and might are the greatest powers, and surviving is the only law, Journey to the Overland gives you what the other games won't, a chance to tackle it all alone. With its unique encounter cards, various scenarios, and extensive use of non-playing characters, you have everything you need to enjoy hours of travels and adventures. But the only way to truly appreciate the commitment and dedication that went into this game is to grab your favorite figure, grab the dice, and start playing. Welcome to a way of gaming you will never leave, because once you begin it, there's no returning from. A journey to the Overland. Previously on Journey to the Overland.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how that went. Because his blade axe did 12 damage, his armor, Grum's armor, the dwarf's armor, only absorbed 10, which now puts his armor at 46. The other 2 points of damage get subtracted from his endurance. So he's actually starting to take wounds to his body, his person now. And that puts him at 76 for that. Now, the other thing is, he lost the combat. He took more wounds than obviously Auric did. Auric is just bashing this guy. So he has to roll to see if he gets moved back. And he rolled a 6 this time. So I think let's just take a look at the table that we had out. 6 says, oh! 6 says he drops your weapon. The weapon is broke. You must find a new one in the arena or fist fight. Holy cow! He just broke his huge axe. Oh my god! The dwarves are in shock. They can't believe his axe just broke. And look at the orcs. They're just cheering and yelling on Auric, Auric, Auric. This is getting brutal. He's gonna have to make it to one of those daggers. Okay, let's stop right there. Hey, welcome back everybody. So we're going to continue up this combat that we were having, or we were witnessing in the Overland Arena between the orc Auric and the dwarf neophyte Grum. Now essentially Grum has been sent into the arena by his dwarven comrades to prove himself, whereas Auric was basically captured by some knights of the land and accused of massacring a family that had been traveling, and in order to prove his innocence, he was allowed to fight in the arena. And that's kind of where we're at. Now the last time we were here, you all witnessed Grum's axe get broken. So to just catch up where we're at as far as their stats go, Grum's armor is down to 46, started at 60. His endurance is 76. Whereas Auric, he only had leather armor, so it's down to 27, and he only got this wounds in a trap. His natural endurance is 88. So we had finished up the fist fighting phase. And I think Auric did a little bit of damage in the fist fighting phase. I think Grum missed. We went into the weapon phase, and Grum's axe broke. So essentially, Grum has no weapon. Now, as I indicated in the last episode, there are objects located throughout the arena that the combatants can try to pick up or use or just acquire. Some of them are gold treasures. I think there's a healing potion. This dead body has a dagger on it, and this item here is a dagger. So if Grum is able to, he could get to one of those daggers. Now, the thing in the arena combat, which makes it so devastating when you lose your weapon, which is, you guys might have heard me get a little excited, is if you do not have a weapon in the weapon phase, the other guy still gets to attack. So essentially, the person would get 2 unanswered attacks. He'd get his fist fighting attack in that phase, and then his attack in the weapon phase. So it's almost crucial to get some kind of weapon just to give you that attack. Now, of course, Oryx blades could break at some point during the battle, which we will have to see. But now we're going into the special or fighter's choice phase, as it's called. And this is if you have any special skills or even magic or things like that that you might can use to help you in the combat. So looking here at Grum, he's a dwarf. He does additional damage with his axe against non-dwarfs, but his axe is gone. He has no other special skills. Auric, on the other hand, has his blade axe, his improvised dagger, but he has no other skills. So neither one of them will have a skill to use in this phase, which means we now go to the fist fighting phase. And as always, they are allowed to move during each phase. So at the start of each phase, you get your move and then your attack. So you get your move and then your attack in each of the phases. So let's get to the special weapons phase, since Grum basically doesn't have any special weapons or fighter's choice skills. He's simply going to move and start trying to make his way to this. He's going to try to make his way to this dagger. So he's going to move. You only get to move 2 spaces. So he can, right now he's filling up these 2. 1 or 1, 2 or 1, 2 would get him on this step here so that he can go up this flight, this is another landing, in order to try to recover that dagger. So that's his move in the special weapons. Auric is going to pursue him, but since he doesn't have a special weapon, he can't get an attack with anything. He has nothing to attack with. So then we go back to the fist fighting phase, and both of them, the last game, what I was doing with determining who would start each phase was I was going by who had the highest agility. But instead of simply saying who has the highest agility, I'm going to make each one of them make an agility check, and whoever passes will have the option of moving first in that phase of the arena combat. If they tie, meaning they both pass, then it will go to the person with the highest agility. So let's roll for, we're going to roll for Grum first, and he has a 55 agility. So I'm going to use the black as the 10 die. He rolls a 49, so he passes. Let's try Auric, who has a 50% agility. He rolls an 87. He doesn't pass. So Grum can move first, which he's definitely going to do to try to get to this this dagger. So he goes up here, 1, 2. He does get to the dagger, so we're going to take that off the board. And he's now considered to have a dagger. And I mean, he doesn't have to spend a turn picking it up or anything. But let's just see what the dagger is. So if you see here, it says the dagger is a +5 dagger, -5 damage. And I'm just going to check my rule book to make sure that never changed when I was drafting the final version. Nope, so it is. He picks up a +5, -5 dagger. So that's going to make at least some difference, that now in the weapons phase, he won't be totally without a strike. However, since he just picked that up, and he's not next to Grum, he can't attack with it, meaning next to Auric. Auric, on the other hand, is going to go 1, 2. He's on the stairs. He's going to attack. He's going to attack Grum in the fist fighting phase, and his fist fighting is by his muscle score. So his muscle is 85. So let's roll for that just to kind of see. He passes. And so that's going to do an additional, I think he does -4 damage based on his his muscle. I think 85 is actually one of the higher ones you can get. So, fist fighting damage. Looking at my cheatography tables. So, 85 does -4 damage. So, that's another 4 wounds that we're going to have to subtract from Grum. But all of that will be absorbed by his armor. So, that puts his armor down to 42. Because that was the fist fighting phase. Grum actually moved in that phase, so he didn't get his attack. Now we're back in the weapons phase, so we're going to roll for their agility again to see who goes first. Grum passes. Auric passes. Grum has the higher agility, so he can either stay there and attack, or he can move, and maybe force. If he moves, he might be able to force Auric to take some damage trying to close in on him because of this trap here, this -3 trap. In addition, there's a healing potion here. So he might also want to move and just go pick up the potion instead of making his attack. I don't know if he has any damage to his actual endurance yet. Yeah, he has 2, which isn't a lot. But, I mean, he may just want to do that to deprive Auric from getting it. But, and this is the weapon phase. All he has is a dagger. But he has to try to attack. I don't think he can afford to just run. Because Auric is going to corner him eventually. So he has a ability of 77. A +5 dagger is 82. He rolls a 71. So he passed that roll. That'll do -5 damage to Auric. Auric's armor absorbs 5. So his armor will absorb all of that. But that puts him down to 22 on his armor. Auric, on the other hand, is going to simply... well, you know what Auric is going to do is he's going to use one of his movements to get here. Just to kind of block off Grum. He could do another one which would activate the trap. Because right now he's just off of the trap. If he moves anywhere in there, he would activate the trap. And he really, I don't even think he'd be close enough to really get the healing potion yet either. So, rather than activate the trap, he's going to stay there. And then he's going to make his attack on Grum. So he gets 2 attacks. He has a blade axe, which is +5. That gives him a 75. He passes. And he has his improvised dagger, which is 8. That's a 78. Oh, he passes. He rolled a 0-1 on that one. So the blade axe does -12 damage. The improvised dagger does -10. Dang. So the 12 comes off first because you got to allow Grum's armor to absorb. It will absorb up to 10. So we're going to take 10 off his armor. Right, we do that. And then we're going to take 2 off his endurance. That's 74. The armor's down to 32. And then the other improvised dagger, which I don't think that's a dagger. I think he's cheating. You know, I think Auric brought that into the arena and called it a dagger. But anyway, we subtracted 10 from that to bring Grum's armor down to 22. Obviously, Grum got the worst of that, so he is going to have to roll on the arena table. Right? So he's going to roll the 10-sided die, and that's going to see what happens again. Maybe he'll break his weapon again, or I don't know. Oh, he rolled a 10. Woo! I don't know if you could see that. He rolled a 10. I don't think that's good. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So a 10 says you're thrown back, move back 3 spaces. You have to spend 1 turn getting up, and your weapon is broken again. So you must find a new one. You also receive -5 damage. Whoa. So this guy is thrown back 3 spaces. Well, so basically, this is as far back as he can go. He's laying down. So that means his only next move will be to get up. His dagger is gone. That's the second weapon he's lost in the game. The other dagger is like way across the arena, way over here. Right? That's on, like, you got to go down and up another level. So he still has no weapon. Right? His dagger's gone. Plus he takes another 5 damage, which luckily his armor will absorb. But now his armor is down to 17 from 22. Wow. Man, I'm really starting to feel sorry for Grum, man. This is sad. This is sad. So that was the weapon phase. The special weapons, nobody has any special weapons. We're going to roll to see who goes first, because this could be crucial since Grum has to spend a turn just to get up. So let's see if he passes his agility. He doesn't. Auric passes. Oh, he passed. So Auric is going to move 1, activate the trap, but pick up this healing potion right away. He doesn't want Grum getting nowhere near that healing potion. So Auric will take those 3, but his armor will absorb that, and that leaves his armor at 19 because he was at 22. Neither one of them have an attack in this phase, but instead of moving, Grum is going to just stand up. Right, and I mean, you look at his fellow dwarfs over here. I mean, they're all pointing and staring and looking because, I mean, they just can see that this is not going good for him. I mean, this guy is just not doing well. He's right over here by his supporters, and yeah, it's not going well. So that ends the special weapons phase, and that puts us back into the fist fighting phase. So once again, let's roll to see who's going to get the first movement. 80. So Grum failed his. Auric passed. Oh. Wow. He's already got this guy blocked into a corner. So what he's going to do is, there's only one way down. And any way that, I think he's just going to stay here and attack in the fist fighting phase. So he has an 80, right? He has a muscle score of 85. So he passed. That's another 4 damage. Okay. So Grum loses another 4 points from his armor, putting it at 13. Grum is going to attack in the fist fighting phase. He has a muscle of 79. Oh, he rolled an 82. Oh my goodness, he can't win. He failed his muscle attack. Wow. Holy cow. Wow. That was a bad round. Whoa. Says, now what I'm trying to see is, it says after contestants have struck each other, the combatant who received the most wounds, or if neither was wounded, the combatant whose strike was the furthest off from his percent score, must roll a d10 tie and determine where he must move to in the arena. He should check his result against the table below. So basically, after every round where there's an attack made, you have to roll to see about that. So again, he got punched in the face. Let's see which way he goes now. Let's try that again. He rolled a 2. So what does a 2 make him do? A 2 says move back 2 spaces. He can't even go back any further. So he's going to wind up just having to stay here. He's stuck there. And that's from the fist fighting phase. We're going to go into the next weapon phase. And again, let's check for their agility. Grum could try to break away. If he can get the agility, he can start heading this way and down the stairs. Because remember, I told you, he can't go down these. Those are up only. He passed his agility. Auric passed his, but that doesn't matter. So Grum is going to move 1. Now, if he moves there, he won't be able to, he might not get past Grum. But if he moves here, I think he can get past them and try to avoid the trap. So that's one. Since he's taking up these spaces, though, if he wants to move here, he'd have to go 2. So that's where he's at in... So what was this phase? Because they just did the fist fight, and this is the special weapons phase. So he has no attack. Grum has no attack either, but he wants to try to cut this guy off. So he's going to move 1 and 2. He can turn to face him. Right? So he's basically blocking him from getting out of there. Right? So that takes us back to the next round. Wait, did we do another weapons phase? No, I don't think I did another weapons phase, which is what this is. But he has no weapon. Grum does have a weapon. So Grum is going to strike with his weapons now. So he has the blade axe plus 5 is 75. He hits. Improvised dagger 78. Oh, he hits. Whoa. So let's tally up the damage. There's going to be 12 and 10 respectively. Another 10 comes off the armor. 2 comes off his regular endurance. He only has 3 left in the armor, so the other 10, 7 of that is coming right off of his endurance. 12 from 7. That put his endurance is down to 65. So Grum is fading fast. And because he has no weapon, he can't attack, so he has to roll again to see what happens. He rolls a 2, which says he gets moved back 2 spaces. So it's basically 1, 2. He's back there. I don't even think he's going to get off this level. He's cornered, and he keeps getting knocked back. There's no way he can get off the level. Every time he makes any progress, Auric knocks him back. So let's go to the special weapons phase, or the fighter's choice. Grum fails his agility check. Holy cow, I don't even have to roll for Auric then. Because Auric can move and do what he wants. Auric will move up here 1. And basically go into base contact with him. And he has no special weapon though. So neither one of them are going to do an attack now. But again, he has him cornered. So we'll go to the fist fighting phase. Grum is going to check his agility. He passes. So even if Auric passes, it's not going to matter. Grum will still get his move. So he's going to move here 1. And then he could go over here and avoid the trap. Or he could try to get past them. But he'd have to go through the trap. At this point, he has to get down them stairs. So he's going to go here and activate the trap and take 3. That's going to come right out of his endurance. But he has to get past him this turn. Auric is going to move, so he's in this block. He can go, that block is 1. This block is 2, and he's just missing that trap. And this is the fist fighting phase, right? So Grum gets no attack because when his turn ended, he wasn't in base contact. And that's the problem with if you move away from somebody during your phase, if you get the first, initiative, you don't get to attack them when they close on you because it's their turn now. Now, he probably could have did his attack and then moved because there's really nothing, it doesn't specify what order you do them in, but I guess I'll remember that for next turn. So anyway, Auric's attack. Auric passes. Whoa, that's another 4 damage. And just to be fair, right, just to be fair, I'm going to let Grum do his attack now. His fist fighting. His muscle is 79. So he passed. But I don't think 79 does as much damage as 85 on the fist fighting table. Oh, he just missed it. No, he would have needed 81. So he only did 3 damage. The problem is he lost the combat, so he's going to have to roll again and possibly get knocked back. So let's do that. We're going to take another 4 off for what he received there. That puts his endurance at 58. He's dying fast. And Auric already picked up that. I think it was a +5 or +10 healing potion, which really would have helped him. It was +5. Okay, let's see what he has to do now. Oh, he rolled another 10. Another 10 on the pushback table. So once again, he gets thrown back. He has to move back 3 spaces, which basically just puts him right back up against the wall. He's knocked down, right? He has to spend a turn getting up. His weapon is broken, which he doesn't have a weapon anymore. And he receives 5 wounds. He just cannot get out of here. This is going horrible for him. Horrible. And that was only the fist fighting phase. The weapon phase is coming up. Wow. Wow. So let's roll again. See if Grump passes. He fails his agility. Goodness. So Auric gets to move first. Auric gets to attack him basically while he's laying down. I don't even know, in a regular game that would do extra damage. I don't even know if they really even give you extra damage in here, other than the fact that you're just crushing the guy. But so this is the weapon phase. So he's gonna get to use his blade axe and that big old cheater's dagger that he has. But I'm gonna see something, whether they do more damage if the person's lying down. Alright, so it says if you're knocked back while on stairs, you receive -10 damage. So other than that, let me see. Alright. Okay. Alright. I'm trying to see. It doesn't really say if they do extra damage if the opponent is on the ground when they attack them. There's something in here about extra damage if they're on stairs, or I think they're at different heights on stairs. Yeah, well, you get a modifier. Okay, I guess you don't do extra damage because they take damage when they fall down. But anyway, his attack, his first one is a 75. I don't think he's missed a weapon attack all game. And he hits on that with a 69. The other one is in 78. And he hit on that. Oh my goodness, this is looking bad. This is looking bad for Grum. Wow. So he basically did another 22 points of damage. That put Grum's endurances down to 31. And Grum's going to spend his action this turn standing up. And one of the things the rule says is if you spend it to stand up, you don't get a strike. But that means he's going to automatically lose the combat. So he has to roll again. This time he rolled a 6. Says drop your weapon. Weapon broke. You must find a new one. Now that doesn't really affect him anymore because that's a foregone conclusion. He hasn't had a weapon most of the game. So that was the weapon phase. We're back to the special abilities of fighter's choice. Roll for initiative. Grum passes. Oh, Auric failed. So Grum can try to move again, but he still only has 2. So he goes 1, 2. Try to get around him. Auric, on the other hand, now you can turn around and face a different direction. Goes 1, but he can't cut through his space. So he's going to stay here and just get his attack in. He might not be able to stop him from getting out depending on what happens next turn. So the special weapons phase, actually none of them have an attack this turn. So this is going to be crucial going into the fist fight and who wins this initiative. If Grum passes, he'll win it. And he passes. So now he can get his fist fighting strike and then move. So let him do that. His fist fighting is 70. His muscle is 79. So he got an 18. So he does do 3 points of damage to Auric. Alright. Now this might be interesting. 9. That puts Auric's armor at 9. So then he moves 1, 2. So he's right there on the stairs to get out of there. Auric can now move. And he has to make a choice. Because if he goes this way, he's going to set off the trap. But he'll be in base contact to strike. On the other hand, if he goes this way, he won't end in base contact. Well, I guess 2, but he couldn't occupy the same space as the dwarf. So that wouldn't... He has no 4 spaces he can occupy without being in one, without touching his base or being in one of his spaces as well. So it makes it to the point where he only can do 1, 2. Which means he sets off the trap. He takes another 3 damage just from doing that. But his armor is still absorbing it, even though it's only down to 6. But the main thing for him is getting his strike in so that he won't have to get forced back or anything for taking more wounds. So his fist fighting, and he better pass this, I guess. His muscle is 85. He failed! Ho ho! He failed. So for the first time, Auric has to roll to see what happens to him. He rolls a 7. Says he's hard pressed. He receives -5 damage. That's actually not bad for him because I wanted to see his weapon get broke. And that didn't even push him back or anything. Dog. I was waiting to see if his weapon got broken. Wow. So that's the fist fighting phase. Let's see if Grum can make it down them stairs this turn. So what he's going to do now, we're going to check for initiative. His agility, he passes. So he will be able to get out of here. Let's do that. So he's going to go down the stairs. Oh, crap. It's a trap down the stair. And it's covering this, so no matter where he goes, he's going to take that damage. Okay, so Grum is going to go through here, and he's going to take -3 because you can see the picture of the trap there. He has to take that. But that'll be 1, 2. And I think his goal is to try to get over to this area. This is just gold. There's a dagger there. If he can get over here, which is right out of the camera view, there's a shield here. And there's also a shield there. And that could be important because if you choose a defense action in combat and use a shield, I mean, you can basically keep your opponent from harming you. And then if neither one of you take damage, I think it goes by whoever missed their attack would have to roll on the table. But either way, it would allow him to try to stay into the fight a little bit longer. So I'm going to subtract the 3. Unfortunately, this is all coming out of his endurance, which now is at 31 minus 3 is 28. So he's in bad shape. We're going to move Auric 1, and he's going to take 3 from the trap 2. So Auric, he only had 1 left on his armor, so he takes 2. His endurance is 86. He's just now taking damage out of his endurance. So all up into that. That little leather armor held up pretty good for him. And he's in contact with Grum, which should give him an attack in this fist fighting phase. Grum forgot to use his attack again, which I'm not going to give it to him this time. So Auric is getting attacks in as many as he can. Oh, 18, so that's a hit. So that's another 4 points of damage on Grum, which would put Grum down to 24. He's going to roll on the table. He rolls an 8. Let's see what happens. Since he didn't make an attack, he obviously lost that round of combat. So an 8 says... Alright, let's just see here what an 8 says. It says stand fast, remain in current position. So that's not too bad. He got out of that with no wound or having to move back at all. So let's go to the weapon combat round. And Grum passes his agility so he can move again. Which way is he going to go? Which way is he going to go? He can only get up in this area over here. I don't know, the light is kind of messing it up. Let's see if that helps a little. No, that doesn't help at all. Let's just level that out. But the only up sign is right there. So he really can't get up here by going this way. He's going to have to try to get over here. Hopefully, what he could try to do is make it so that Auric has to go across this big -10 trap in order to get to him. Now, since it's the weapon phase and he has no weapon, he doesn't have to worry about attacking before moving. So, I don't know if there's a way he can get over there without touching the trap. So let's go 1. And then he's going to go... you don't want to touch that one. 2. So he's just going to take this 3. Unfortunately, it really wasn't no way he could avoid it. Otherwise, he would have touched a -10, which would have been even worse. So he's going to take that 3, which is going to put him at 21. So he's in bad shape. He's in bad shape. Auric is now going to move. I'm trying to play with the lighting here so we can keep everything in view. You can see the crowd and the audience there. They turned on the lights. It must be getting late. Auric is going to move 1, 2, and... So what was this? Is this the weapon phase? Yeah, and that's why he didn't attack before he moved. This could finish him. Probably will. Because Grum is only at 21. Auric's combined weapons do... What did I put? -12 and -10. They do 22 points of damage. If he hits with both, he will kill him. He hit with the first one. Here comes the second one. This is huge. He hit with the second one. So, without further ado, we see Grum fall in the arena. And that is combat in the Overland Arena. And obviously, his fellow orcs are, they're ecstatic. Grum is found not guilty, and he's going to avoid the king's justice once again. The rest of the arena is just looking, in awe at how Auric just dismantled him. The dwarves are in shock and in anger, and I would not be surprised to see one of them challenge Auric to another battle in the arena in the days to come. And the pirate section and them are ready for the next combatants to appear. But we're not ready for that. I think there's been enough violence for the day. We've seen a brave warrior fall. So, check in with the next episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing this. This is actually just one of the modules for Journey to the Overland. The actual series continues. I'm currently playing a character called Maverick, and I drew up another character called Lila. So, I think we'll be getting back to their exploits in the days ahead. Take care.
My name is Maverick. I'm from the town of Milesdale, and I live in the Overland. The Overland is a dangerous place. You never know what you will run into, and you never know what you will find. When at all possible, never ever travel alone. And when all else fails, it's better to run and live to fight another day. And in the end, if you have faith, hope will light your way.